Greetings to our respective lecturer and to the fellow students. I am Subhashani here. Will be explaining on the Hirarc venue that our group chose. For our Hirarc inspection, we chose Chemistry Final Year Lab 6 at our university as the venue. This laboratory was selected because it is frequently used for advanced experiments and handles various chemicals and equipment, making it a high-risk area. During our inspection, we identified several hazards such as exposed electrical wires, water spillage, improper chemical disposal, and disorganized equipment. These findings made it a suitable and practical site for applying the Hirarc process, as it allowed us to assess real existing risks and propose control measures to improve safety. By focusing on a space that is actively used by final year students, we ensure that our assessment would be relevant, realistic, and beneficial for current and future lab users. The Occupational Safety and Health Act OSHA 1994 serves as the foundation for ensuring workplace safety in Malaysia, including in educational laboratories like Chemistry Final Year Lab 6. Our Hirarc assessment aligns with OSHA's objective of identifying and controlling hazards to prevent accidents and protect the well-being of all lab users. That's all from me for today. Thank you.
Okay, first thing to be done in Hirarc is hazard identification, which is to identify any potential harm or source of harm that could lead to injury, damage, illness, or even death in the workplace. So, failure to identify hazard in science laboratory can lead to accidents such as chemical spills, burns, fire, injuries from equipment, or even long-term health effects. So, there are many possible hazards that can be found in science laboratory, which are faulty wiring, spilled liquid or water, glassware, toxic, chemical, and more. Okay, there are too many hazards that we identify in one of the science laboratory at Faculty of Science and Mathematics in DPSI. More than 10, I think. But this 6 is the top hazard that we think that you need to take a good care. So the first one is chemical glassware in the regular bins. As we know, in chemical things or chemical equipment need to be thrown in bins that only for chemical and have hazard label on it. So the second one is unorganized equipment. As we can see that there is many equipment that not supposed to be on the table like that. Third is improper trash disposal. As we can see, the bins not kept properly. And then the number 4 is messy farm hood with exposed wires. The number 5 is the common hazard, which is water spillage, can cause slippery. And the last one is unorganized first aid kits, where they didn't close it properly. So how this happened? This happened because the person in charge of this laboratory did not take it as serious matter, although they know that the consequences of the chemical hazard, but they did not take it as serious as it should be. So this can harm not only the people inside the science laboratory, but also outsider if the chemical trash taken outside without proper procedures.
Good afternoon everyone. Today I'll be presenting the risk assessment of various assets in Chemistry Final Year Lab 6 using a risk metric. This metric helps us evaluate and prioritize risk based on their likelihood and potential impact. We use two key factors. First one, likelihood index, L, and the second one, severity index, S. By multiplying these two factors, we determine the risk level, which helps us prioritize which assets need immediate attention. Based on the table on this slide, the first one is glassware thrown in regular bin. The risk level is considered as high risk, followed by unorganized equipment left on bench. The risk level is a moderate risk, but But messy fume hood with exposed wires is a high risk. Next, improper trash disposal is considered as a moderate risk. But slip hazard due to water spillage back to high risk. Last but not least, disorganized first aid box is considered as a moderate risk. By assessing these assets with a risk metric, we can clearly see which areas require immediate action to mitigate potential injuries. Our next step is to implement effective safety protocols to minimize these risks and keep our environment safe for everyone. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to share the top 6 hazards identified in chemistry final year lab 6 and how they affect safety in the lab. First, glassware thrown in a regular bin poses a serious threat. It has a risk level of 12, categorized as high. Broken glass can cause deep cuts, and without proper disposal, it has a danger to everyone in the lab. Second, the massive fume hood with exposed wire is another high-risk hazard, also rated at 12. It increases the chances of chemical spills and electrical accident, making it extremely unsafe. Thirdly, unorganized equipment left on the bench may seem minor, but it has a risk level of 8. It causes tripping hazard and delay in emergency situation. 4. Improper trash disposal also score a medium risk of 8. Without correct segregation of waste, chemical can mix and cause harmful reaction or contamination. Number 5. Water spillage on the floor creates a slip hazard. Especially in a busy lab, this has a risk level of 10, which is still moderate but serious enough to cause injury. Lastly, a disorganized first aid box may delay treatment during emergencies. This is rated at 9, also a medium risk. In conclusion, this hazard ranging from glass disposal to emergency readiness highlight the need for better organization and preventive safety measures. By addressing high-risk issues immediately and monitoring moderate risk oftenly, we can ensure a safer lab environment for everyone. Thank you.
Next is the risk control. So according to the first hazard, which is the glassware thrown in a regular bin, to guarantee the safe disposal, the lab should have a special container for a broken glass or a sharp. This container needs to be properly labeled and resistant to puncture. Next is the unorganized equipment left on the lab bench, which is routine inspection must be carried out, like maintaining orders and minimizing clutter on the work surface. The third hazard, which is the unused or malfunctioning electrical equipment from the workstation, should be done right away in the event of untidy fume hoods with exposed wire, and administrative control should be implemented, such as strengthened fume hoods maintenance procedures and required electrical safety training. For the hazard of improper trash disposal, appropriate engineering and administrative control are necessary. Bins with a clear label and color coding should be provided in the lab so that class, chemical, biological and general waste must be kept apart. For the slip hazard due to the water spillage, and the engineering control like flow drains and non-slip mats can greatly lower the danger. Staff and students should also be instructed to always wear the non-slip shoes in the lab and to wipe up the spill right away. Finally, the disorganized first aid box should be addressed through administrative control, which is the first aid box should be regularly inspected and restocked by a responsible individual.